Welcome back, y'all. No, most ugly. All right, let's try it again. All right. Welcome back, guys and gals. No. Here we go. Let's try it again. Welcome. No. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, my fellow crafters. Hello. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another artsy video. I am the Craftmonster, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use your Singer M1000. Before we get started, I just want to say that this is the most requested video that I've had on my channel since we started. And so this machine, the Singer M1000, is still new to me, so I'm going to try my best to walk you through exactly how to use it. So what we need to do is, of course, start by gathering all of our supplies. So I have our sewing machine. This also comes with the power cord and the cord for the foot pedal. So make sure you have all of those pieces to start. We also need a spool of thread, your bobbin, and this needle threader, okay? And then, so once we have everything, we're gonna jump in. Your first step to starting any project is you wanna start by threading your bobbin, okay? So I'm gonna walk you through this. So basically all we're gonna do is take our spool of thread, whatever color you're choosing to use, and again, I'm using black, and on the back portion of your sewing machine, it has this little holder for your spool of thread, okay? And so this spool of thread, once you stick it on here, you're going to take your thread and you're gonna wrap it around the front portion of this thread guider, okay? Bring it fully around, just like this. Okay, so now that we've wrapped it around, I'm gonna take my bobbin and I'm gonna put, there's a little hole, if you notice on this, it has a little hole on both sides, so it doesn't matter which way you hold it, just search for that hole, and you're gonna take your thread and you're going to put it through the hole from underneath. So let's see, just like, and this is a little bit tedious, so you have to play with it until you get it. So right up through the hole. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay. So once you have this through the hole, you'll take your bobbin and you're gonna place it right on this little piece here, okay, and snap it down into place, just like that. Okay, and just pull a little excess to make sure it's in there correctly. Okay. So once we have it in this position, we're gonna take this whole piece, and it has little pictures on the top of the sewing machine to kind of guide you in what you need to do. So once this is through that hole, I'm gonna slide this over into the locked position, okay? Now still hang on to your little bit of thread. So once it's locked in position, I'm gonna use my foot pedal and I'm gonna start to have it wrap around the bobbin for about 10 seconds. So let's do that. Okay, so once it's about that much wrapped around, you're gonna take some scissors and you're gonna cut this right near this hole, okay? Continue to press your foot pedal so that this fills up your bobbin. Okay, so this will, once this bobbin is fully full, it will stop on its own, so you don't have to actually stop it, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna stop it now. So once you've filled your bobbin up with thread to the point that you want it, or until it's fully full, what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide this back into the original position. So you'll take this piece and you'll press it over, okay? And then you can remove this from there, and you're just gonna cut your string, just like so. Okay, so since we've cut it now, this bobbin is ready to be put into the machine. So what we're gonna do is, in order to put this bobbin in, you have to first remove this bobbin cover, okay, from the machine. And this opens up the little placement for where this is gonna sit right inside. You wanna make sure that when you're putting your bobbin in, that you have your string coming off of this counterclockwise. So make sure it's off to the left if you're looking at it, okay? So once we have that, so pull a little bit of your string and just go ahead and sit this bobbin right inside of this hole, okay? So now, once I've done that, I'm gonna take this excess piece of string that I have, and in here, if you look closely, on these metal or these silver parts of this, they have a little groove right here at the base of it. So I want to take my string and I want to work that through this silver piece. Okay, so you can kind of use your fingernail just to get it to catch inside of there. And that might take a few tries, and that's okay. So it did catch and it went around. So now I'm going to bring this part of the string up around this part. And I'm going to run it to the back of my machine. So give it a pull just to make sure that your bobbin does spin, and that lets you know that it's in the correct position. So now that I have it the way I want it, I'm going to replace my cover. Just like so. So now that we've inserted the bobbin, we're going to move on to threading the machine. Okay, so again, we're going to come up here to our spool, which is sitting on this little holder here. Okay, we're going to take our string, and this time using this thread guider, we're going to bring it underneath and place it up through this little groove here and into this hole. So it should be coming right out of the center, and we're going to pull our thread, and it's going to come straight down through this opening here. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to bring it down through the opening and follow that all the way down the front of your machine. Okay, so once I have it all the way down the front, I'm just going to pull a little bit more excess. And if you notice, and I'll kind of lean this forward, if you notice, it has like the little arrow that shows you the U shape. You're going to carry that thread all the way in a U shape back up. Okay, so back up the machine. All right, so it should be coming right out of the top here. So now that I have my thread here, what I'm going to do is on the side you have your little gray knob. Okay, this knob allows your, I don't even know what this is called, this here, this little eye to pop up. So I turned it gently and it put it into this position. So this is the position I want it in. Okay, and I'm going to take my thread, and from right to left, I'm going to thread it through the little hole that you see on this eye. Okay, so I'm going to thread it right through. Okay, and it's coming out the other side, and just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my thread just to make sure it's still flowing and it's moving smoothly, and I'm going to bring this down back through the front of this. Okay, and let's see here, let's see if we can get a good angle here. So now I have, again, it's going through the eye of this here, this little eye, and it's coming down the front all the way down this line right to here. Okay, so this, we're really close to our needle here that we're going to thread. Okay, so make sure when you get to this stage that this whole base is in the upwards position. Using this little button here, there's a knob on the back that can have it sit down low or lift it up. So we want it in the up position, just like that. So we have that in the upwards position. Okay. And so once we're here, we're going to take our thread and we're going to bring it around. Let's see. We're going to bring it around this portion here. There's like a little metal groove. There's a lot of grooves in this. And it has a little hook. And we want to get that thread to go right through this little opening here. Okay, if you can see that. So just like that. So now that we have it through the hole, the next step is we want to actually thread the needle. So make sure your needle, you have to look at it. Look for the eye of that needle, okay? It is hard to see. And we want to make sure that we can see it. If for some reason it's in the wrong position, let's say it's in the downward, use that same gray knob that we used before to lift that needle into the upwards position, just like that. Okay, so we're going to take this here, this little device, and what we're going to do is from the back of the machine, okay, or from the back way, we're going to stick it through the eye of that needle. Okay, and this is again another tedious thing to do, so take your time with this. Okay, and so once it's through, what we're going to do is take our hanging end of the thread and we're going to stick it right through the hole. So now that I have it through, I'm just gonna pull it to make sure it's all the way through that. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna pull it through the eye of this needle. Okay, and that's just by pulling your device all the way through. Okay. So now we are in the actual needle. Okay, so let's just grab this so you can see it. Just like that. So now that we have our thread through the eye of the needle, the next thing we're gonna do is we have to bring this thread down and through the center part of this. And so the easiest way to do this is by putting this in the downward position. Okay, using that little knob, and then taking your end of your string. Okay, so find the end of that string and bring it around just like this under this bar here. Okay, so once you have it under the bar, we're gonna place it just like this underneath and make sure you get it to the center there. So again, be careful with this because you are working around your needle. Okay. So now that I have this in, I'm gonna lift this back up into the upwards position, okay? And you see this thread is hanging over to the side, and I have my bobbin thread, which is still hanging towards the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this thread here, and I'm gonna go back to my braid knob, which is on the side of your machine, and I'm gonna give this one full turn lightly toward me. So that's counterclockwise or towards you. So I'm gonna do that. One full turn towards me, just like that. Okay, so now that we did that one full turn of our knob, you're gonna take your thread, your needle thread, and you're gonna put it right through the hole of the bobbin thread that comes up, okay? Once you do that, you're gonna pull both of these strings together for about good 4 inches to the back of your machine together. Just like that. Okay, so now that we've done all of the steps that we need to threading our machine and threading our bobbin and having everything put together, we're ready to sew. So I have some pre-cut fabric, and it's not perfectly cut. This is just for the purposes of showing you how to use the machine. And so we're going to use this material to sew it together into a pillow. So I'm going to take my fabric just like this, and I have 2 pieces, and they are inside out. And so I'm gonna put them together nice and securely, and I'm gonna slide them right under this raised needle, okay? And I'm gonna get close enough to the edge, but I don't wanna be too close, okay? And then once I have it in the position, I'm gonna lock this down in place, and I'm going to start my sewing. Make sure that you have enough, just like if you see how I did this, I don't have anything to help work the fabric through. If that's the case, lift this back up, slide some over a little bit just to give you enough space to help work it through. Okay. So I'm gonna put that back down, and I'm gonna start my sewing using my foot pedal. Just like so. And on the back here as well, if you look at this knob, if you come around and look at this knob here, it has the different stitch settings that you want. And I just have a basic stitch going on, but they have the zigzags and all different ones here. So make sure you have it set to whichever pattern you would like. So now that I've sewn 3 of the sides closed, I'm gonna flip this inside out so that we can stuff it. So just like this. You wanna make sure you get your corners really well. Just like that. All right, and then we'll stuff this and we'll finish it up by closing it up. I'll take some stuffing, and you're gonna need to use a lot of stuffing because this tends to, I think this is the polyfill, this tends to seem like it's full and then get flattened very easily, so add a little extra if you can. So I'm gonna stuff this completely full, and I'll work it all the way down through this pillow to my corners, and then I'll continue stuffing until it's full. Last bit of stuffing, and then we are ready to close this. Now, if your pillow looks a little lumpy, that's okay. You can fluff it a little bit and expand that cotton to fit it the way you want it to once it's fully sealed. So we have it just like this. So I'm going to pinch these corners, and we're going to come back to our machine, and we are going to close this up. So there we have that. I'm just gonna cut that off. And so now that we have our pillow fully sewn, oops, you're gonna fluff it and get it to lay and sit just how you want it. Okay. And then check and see if there's any excess threads, and you can trim them off, just like so. And there you have it. So this is the finished product using my Singer M1000. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out in my next video. See ya!